So, hope the coffee was good. Hope you had some thoughts about the water in the coffee. For me, living in Lidingö, I don't know if you heard, but for 1 week we have been forced to boil our water because there was a big leak in the water passage system. So that made me think. And we have had 2 students team working with Stockholm City and Ericsson who have taught a lot about water quality and the water of Stockholm. First team out is Finns i sjön, water conscious living in Stockholm. Welcome them.
Hey everybody. Okay. Hey everybody. I'm Lynn, and except for getting the honor to introduce our concept, Finns i sjön, I would also like to introduce my team. So here we have Lode, Mai, Ivan, Rebecca, and Andreas. And our group also got George in our team, but unfortunately he couldn't be here today. So this is what we're gonna talk about today: Stockholm and water. So it's always there, we're dependent by it, and we are expecting its continued subsistence. So the challenge. We started this process a few months ago with a challenge from Stockholm Stad and Ericsson. And we implemented that challenge as we followed their lead with keep maintaining good water status. And with Ericsson's incorporation with this, we also got another tool to do this, those measuring sensors. And this following presentation will tell you more about what we did with this by using the design thinking method. And I'm going to give it over to Mai.
Yes, thanks Dane for this introduction, and I want to play a little game with you. So, here we have 3 bottles. If I told you like which one of them are dirty and you're not going to use it, which number would you go for? 1. Thank you. You can take it away. Now we have 2 more. Can you see a difference between both of them? No. Exactly, that's the point. What you see is not always what you get, because one of these water is dirty and the other one is clean. Which take me to the problem we have. So, when we started talking about the challenge, we realized that we have some problems concerning the water management in Stockholm. So basically, people tend to take some uninformed decision when it comes to using water. For example, right now, we have no data saying whether this water is clean or not, and we still wait for it. I don't see a difference. Also, we had, with the interviews we conducted, a girl was mentioned, I never swim in Stockholm anymore. And that's just basically because a guy in high school went to take samples of water from the lake and it was contaminated. And since then, I don't swim anymore. And for us, that sounded like an informed decision because she deserved to know, like, the water is good and you can go, or the water is bad or not, depending on data. Also, we realized that there is absence of responsibility for some people. So when we conducted the interview, some mentioned that yeah, but the water is being taken care of the government of Stockholm Stad and everything is fine, so why should I worry about it? But truth is, when we had interviews with the experts from Stockholm Stad, they mentioned that they just have control of 50% of the stormwater, and the rest is just taking the litter and the dirt away from the street and it ends up in the water again. So we realized, okay, people need to see the part of the problem in order to change that. Also, people, some are unaware of the consequences of their indirect actions to the water. So maybe a smoker can just smoke and throw the cigarette butt in the street, and then in his mind, I didn't contaminate the water, I just throw it in the street. But truth is, when the rain falls, it's just gonna take this cigarette and it's gonna end up in the water. So without realizing, he contributed it indirectly to like polluting the water. Yes. Also, yeah, there is also like lack of connection with the water in Stockholm because the more you connect with the water, or the more you use it, the more you feel connected to it. And on the other hand, the less you use it, the less you feel connected to it. So for example, if it's a swimmer or somebody who's doing water sports, he's using the water more often in many forms and many ways, so he can have a connection with the water and feel more for it. But for somebody who just, the relation of water comes down to drinking and having showers, it's not so much of a connection here. And that's why we realize that people need to take more part or be more aware of their part of the problem in order to change that. And also, how can we make the water talk so it can tell the people that it feels good or it's contaminated and it's not feel good. And now I'm leaving you to my colleague Ivan, who's going to tell you more about this problem.
Right. So I would like to pose a question like, how do we actually talk to water? How do we actually communicate with water? This is actually a part of our project that has taken, it has been very, very fun, and it has taken many avenues. And I'm here today to convince you that there is a language, a visual language, there is an engaging language that we can build to build concepts and to do tools that by means with which we can care about water. And it's just a paradox that cities are enriching, we live in cities that are enriching, and that by keeping us in a cocoon, we can develop our lives in amazing ways. But at the same time, that puts us out of the natural media. And when we talk, when we were looking at how to represent the data, I mean, what is pH, what is conductivity, this is always falling into the abstract and really far away to the connection. And we wanted to connect people. So we started to put agents and to put entities that would be inside the media, us to create a language and a feel and a sensory number of idioms and words for set some landmarks in the territory, but also to care as a community what is a bigger number. And we started to observe which kind of could be like different colors and different patterns that tell us what is happening to a device or to a tool that we have inside the water, and then everyone can be connected, whatever they need through gamification. We also use other analogies that are really easy to catch and everybody could really understand, because we all have to take care of water, like the pulsation nature of the vessel system compared to tree that is nurturing from water system, and then we started to develop like tools that they are really telling us that how to, that they compel us to know more about what provokes changes. As to we can care more about the real thing, and about the real thing, my colleagues he's gonna talk much more.
Okay, thank you. So, we came to our final concept, which is Vintigen, which is twofold. First, we want to communicate the status of the water through an entity, a landmark entity in the center of Stockholm. And secondly, we want to have an application to give additional information about the status of the water to citizens of Stockholm.
This is Björn. It's his lunch break, and he has taken the opportunity to get some fresh air. When taking walks, he is always attracted by the open spaces in the city, and he wanders towards the sound of the water. He's looking forward to taking his kids out kayaking in Stockholm this weekend. It's been a busy week, but getting out on the water gives him a sense of freedom. Hopefully, the weather will allow for him and his family to have a pleasant day. but more important, he wants his children to be safe. He has heard rumors about bad water quality at certain spots. Could these be true? Björn would want more information about this to make sure he and his kids will have a fun day. However, he has a lot of work to do and will probably slip his mind. But what is this?
Alright, so Björn ends up at the Bay of Slussen, where he will find the mother tree. In search of a relatable entity, we chose to go for the natural and strong image of a tree. In ancient Nordic mythology, a reference can be made to Yggdrasil, which is also the tree under which all life thrives. And the image of a tree is also chosen because the roots of the tree soak up the water and then convey whatever is in the water into the branches of the leaves. Practically, this would mean that the colors change according to the quality of the water, or the status of the water. In our understanding of the concept, we've used the scale of milieuverwatningen to express the contamination levels. So in this case, red would be very contaminated and blue would be perfectly clean. And this way, like with the water, we can actually show, or what you see is really what you get. We would like to use data from the sensors that are offered by Ericsson, but also from the tests that are performed manually by Stockholm Stad. And then the design of the tree, it's not set in stone. We would like to put out a design competition to make the tree something that is owned but also produced by the citizens of Stockholm. This way we would like to increase the engagement by the citizens of Stockholm, but also to provide something that people want to care for. So in the case when you see a red tree in this case, that people want to do something and it motivates them to take action to make the tree green again or change its color. Based on this image of a tree, of the mother tree, there will be additional digital trees that will show the water quality in local spots. However, these trees will not be physical per se, but will rather be shown in a complementing app, which my colleague Rebecca will now talk about.
Hi everyone. So this is our second part of our concept, and this is the mobile app, and this is the interactive part of our concept, and also the informative, because this is where now our users, our intended users, will be able to see the tree. We have the mother tree, as my colleagues have told you. We have the mother tree, which is the first page of our mobile app, and it's going to show the general information and the status of our water around the Stockholm. If the water will be contaminated, then the tree will change. Like as the color system shows, the red one is dangerous, shows that the water has been contaminated. If not, then the tree will show the blue color. And then if for our users to interact with the trees, the digital trees, we have them in various parts of Stockholm, and the app will provide also the map. The map will show the various water bodies. In those water bodies, we have the digital trees. For the user to be able to tell if this water body is okay for them, then they have to click on the tree, on the digital tree, which will show this kind of information. Because during our interviews with our intended users, this is the kind of information that they wanted to know about the water, like the temperatures you see there. So from here, they're able to compare various water bodies around the Stockholm. If this tree will show this information, if, like for example, the temperatures is okay, the pH is okay, and the algae level also, if it is okay, then the water is good. If not, then they will have actually to move to another location. And we have the digital tree. When you click it, that is the digital tree as it is. We have the growth list and the show map for more information. They can also view the trends. The trends are the statistics that are given within a period, maybe a week or a month. And for example, it's based on maybe perhaps there has been rainfall in Stockholm. So what will that mean? Will our water quality be good or bad? So this is where they will get information about that. For example, as it's shown on the graph, it shows the water quality as it dropped because, as my first colleague said, that with the storm water, they carry everything in the streets. So whatever you see in the streets and whatever you drop there, that is exactly the thing that you will get in the water. So there's also a warning there that literally, okay, there are no laws against that, but it's not good for you to do that. It's better you use the valuable resources like the waste bins that have been provided all over this place. It's so amazing because in our country you can't really get everything like this. You have it everywhere, so it's better if you use them to protect our water. And also it will give you, the app will also give you the rules in various parts of your living, where you live, whether at home or outside at work or at the train station. What are you expected to do to protect our water, to make sure that we have the right quality of water? Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. So as it is today, we are only using data from one sensor that is placed by Ericsson and Stockholm Stad, and also Stockholm Stad is conducting manually testings of the water. So when we look into the future, we hope to first of all install more sensors around the city, because we need more sensors to get better data, and with better data we can be more precise and offer more for our users. So for instance, if we have good data and good statistics, the user will be able to by themselves detect if there's a sudden drop of quality at the particular spot. We can also compare different spots to so the users can see, okay, this is not a good day to go to this place, and so on and so on. So also with better statistics, we want to in the future look into other proxies. For instance, with some sort of rating system, the users they will be able to, for instance, rate a certain beach for how crowded it is at certain times during certain seasons and so on. So they will co-create these functions in the app. We also look into how to make the data more accessible, because everyone's not having an app. Maybe everyone doesn't want to download an app for this. So in the future we hope to set up some billboards at the beaches. There are already some billboards today, but we want to make them digital and more interactive. So for instance, we want to include this function of augmented reality, from which you can look into the billboard and see the digital tree right in front of you. And in this way you can also look into the map on which you can compare different sites. Not only how the quality is, but also maybe what that kind of beach offers to you. Maybe you can fish at this place, maybe they have showers, maybe they don't have showers, and maybe you can engage more into other recreational activities. So, with this in mind, we also want to provide information about how to get from point A to B, possibly through the cykelbana, so you can get around without having an impact on nature. We also looked into how to make this more interactive, and we found out that people would like to co-create, so we can use the rating systems, for instance, and we feel that people will be more connected in the long term. So this is kind of an organic growth into making a change. This will not happen in a day, but once this tree is present in people's minds, we hope this idea will grow into their minds. So we are quite positive when it comes to the future water quality in Stockholm. We think that people will have this in mind once this project is more established.